So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can read the code of one ESP32 board and upload the exact same code to other ESP32 board. It's like cloning the complete firmware of one device, and I made the process super simple to understand and super easy to replicate as well. And I have covered the complete process for Mac system and Windows system separately in this single video. So just a friendly disclaimer before starting, this video is just for educational purpose and I hope you will use it to help others and help yourself as well. I hope you understand. After the disclaimer, let's start this video and let me teach you how to do the process in the Mac system first. So first I'll show you the demo in my Mac system, and I made it in a simple 5-step process. The first step is you need to install the Arduino or the ESP32 boards packages. For that you can go to Arduino preferences and just click here, and you need to paste this link which is provided in one of my article, whose link you can find in the description. After pasting, just click on OK once again. Then you need to go to tools, into the boards, then into the boards manager, and here just type out as ESP32 and install this boards packages from Espressive system. In my case I have already installed, and with this we are done with the step number 1. Now the step number 2 is we need to find out the exact location where ESP tool is located in your computer, and for that you need to go to Arduino into preferences first of all, and just make sure the compilation upload verbos are checkmarked and click on OK. After that, just select the board that you want your code to get uploaded. So in my case it is ESP32 Do It Tailgate V1 board, and I have not connected as of now my ESP board. So as you can see, the no port is selected. It doesn't matter, you just hit on the upload button because we don't want the code to get uploaded, rather we just want the location of our ESP tool. So we'll get inside this window. Let's just wait for it. So as expected, the code is not uploaded, but we got the location of ESP tool. So with this, the step number 2 is completed, and now the step number 3 is we need to find out the exact flash memory of our ESP boards, because ESP boards come with variety of flash memory, 4 MB, 8 MB, 16 MB. So first we need to make sure how much flash memory our ESP board has. For that you just need to copy this line up to baud rate. Okay, so I'll copy it, and now I'll open up the terminal window, and here I will paste this line. Perfect. Now what we need to do is we need to provide two details. First is the COM port. So here I'll connect the ESP32 board, which has the currently LED blink code already uploaded. It is blinking at the interval of 1 second. So now I need to verify the COM port of my ESP board. So I will go to Arduino tools, and as you can see, the COM port is selected as cu.usb serial-0001. Okay, so now I'll again go back to my terminal and make sure that the port is exactly the same. So in my case, the port is the same on which my ESP board is connected. That you need to verify. Second thing is, after this baud rate, you need to write out as only one single line, which is flash_ID, and press enter. So here as you can see, the detected flash size is 4 MB, and with this we are done with the step 3 as well. Now the step 4 is now we are ready to read the code, the firmware file of the ESP32 board. How to do that? Let me show you. So for that I'll again copy this line up to baud rate. I'll open the terminal once again, I'll paste it, and this time what I need to do is I need to type as read_flash space. Now here we need to provide the address, like from which location up to which location we need to read. So from 0 up to the address 0x4, then 5 times 0. Well, this is the address for the flash memory size of 4 MB. For 16 MB the address will be different. For 8 MB the address will be different. So I'll be providing the addresses for 8 MB and 16 MB down the description of this video. So change that address according to the flash memory your ESP board has. So after writing down the address, you just need to press the enter button, and let's just wait for it. Okay, I missed one thing. So after writing the address, we need to put a space, and we need to write the file name in which we need to store that the firmware file. So I'll just type it as ESP_blink.bin. Now here let me tell you that the firmware file that we'll be getting will be in the format binary, which is .bin, and not in the format of Arduino.ino. Okay, so after providing this flash size and the file name, just press enter. Let's just wait for it. Okay, so right now it says a fatal error occurred. Now in the Mac systems I've faced this issue, which is sometimes the baud rate, which is mentioned here as 921600, doesn't work. Okay, so we can change the baud rate to try this step once again. So I'll delete this baud rate and just type the slower baud rate, which is 115200, and after this if I press enter, Okay, so as you can see, it started reading the binary file. Now as this is the slower baud rate, it will take some time to read the file. So till the binary file get read completely, wanted to thank the sponsor of the video, which may be helpful to you. Let's hear from the sponsors.
This video is sponsored by LTM, which is a PCB designer based software company. Now LTM is not just another PCB designing software, rather it's a world-class and award-winning PCB designing tool that has some features like advanced interactive routing with auto completion, any angle routing, bus routing, phase and length tuning, follow me more and much more, which makes it an ideal choice for PCB designing by a lot of companies. Along with this, they do also have LTM 365 that not just covers the PCB designing part but also helps with design sharing via web, sharing designs to mechanical team for product design, centralized cloud storage and a lot more. And along with all this, they do have a very useful search engine made just for electronic components called as Octopart. Using Octopart, you can search for any components and you will be able to compare its price and availability around the globe. Not only that, you can also get the details about the components like its specifications and datasheet all at one single place. So LTM provides everything to make your production task a lot easier. So do try out all these services right now, as you'll be getting a free trial version by just clicking the link mentioned in the description. Happy making!
And with this, it successfully read the firmware file, and now the question is where the firmware file is stored. Well, it is stored at the location where you put the command, so it will be inside the Sachin Soni folder in my case. So I'll just open my Finder. And inside the Sachin Soni folder, as you can see, the ESP_blink.binary file is here. And if I click on the info button, it will be around 4 MB only. As you can see, it says 4.2 MB. So that's the complete firmware file of the ESP32 board. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the fifth and the last step, which is I'll connect other ESP32 board which is not having the LED blink example code in it. And now I'll show you how to upload that binary file into the new ESP32 board. For that, you need to copy this line, but till this, okay, till this flash size you need to copy the line. Okay, so I'll copy it, and after that I'll open the terminal once again, and here let me just clear everything, and here I'll paste this line. Now in this line you need to make a couple of changes. First of all, make sure that the COM port is selected correctly. So right now I'll go to tools, and in my case the COM port is exactly the same, so let's just cross check in the terminal. So COM port is exactly the same. So first thing is check. Second thing is you need to select the flash size as 4 MB and the starting address will be 0. So that's the second check. And after that, you need to put a space here, and here you need to provide the location where the firmware file, that binary file which you have downloaded, is stored. In my case, it is /users /Sachin Soni /ESP_ blink.bin, which is the name of the file. Okay, so this is the complete address, and now if I press the enter button, let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the firmware file started flashing onto the other ESP32 board, and it's done uploading. And onto my other ESP32 board, if I press the reset button, okay, as you can see, the LED started blinking at the interval of 1 second. So we successfully clone the firmware from one ESP to other ESP32 board in the 5 simple steps in my Mac system. Now let me show you the same process for the Windows system. So now for all the Windows users, I know you are the majority, so this one is for you. So in Windows as well, we have a 5-step process, but the process is a little different as compared to the Mac system, so watch it carefully. So first step is we need to install the ESP32 boards packages. For that, we can go to Files, into Preferences. And here you can click here, and I need to paste this line. Again, you can find in that same block. Just paste that line, click on OK once again. And then you need to go to Tools, then into Boards, and then into Boards Manager. Here just type out as ESP32 and install the one from Aspressive system, no matter which version you're downloading. It's okay. In my case, I already installed. So that's the step number 1. Now the step number 2 is we need to find the location of ESP tool. And for that, first of all, we need to go to Files and Preferences, and here make sure the compilation and upload boxes are check marked. After that, just click on OK. And now what I'll do is I'll just go to Tools and select the right board, which is do it the ESP32 DevKit V1. And I haven't connected the ESP32 board, so it's not an issue because we just want to see the location. So I'll straight away hit the upload button, and we need to wait for the ESP tool location here in this window. So as expected, we are not able to upload the code, but we got the location of ESP tool, which is here. So now in the Windows system, we need to do a little changes, which is we need to go to this folder first of all, which is esptool.py. So I'll copy this address and I will open my computer, and here I will paste that address straight away and press enter. So inside this folder, here is the ESP tool file. Now what I'll do is, generally what happens is majority of the Windows user have the Arduino installed in the C drive, and I have experienced that I was not able to generate the binary file into the C drive. So that's why what we'll do is we'll copy this ESP tool and we'll paste it in the D drive. Okay, so I will copy this and now I'll go to the D drive. Here I'll simply paste that ESP tool. So here's the ESP tool, and now the location is changed to the local disk D. So this is kind of a different processor compared to the Mac systems. Now we are done with the second step, and now the third step is we need to find out the flash size of our ESP32 board. So now I'll connect the ESP32 board with my computer, and now what I'll do is I'll open the command prompt. And first of all, we need to go to the location of local disk D. For that, first type a command as cd ... then cd ... once again, and now I'll just type D:, and as you can see, the location changed to the drive D. And now we can execute the command to get the flash storage. So for that, I'll open the Arduino IDE where we got this address, and now I'll just copy from here only this much line of code. It's just because the address is now completely changed. So I'll go back to the command prompt and paste that line here, and I'll provide a space and write as flash ID. So after writing flash ID, we need to confirm the COM port as well. So let me just confirm. So my board is connected to COM4. So let's just type COM4 in the command prompt. Okay, let's just press enter and hopefully we should get the flash size. Yeah, we got the flash size, which is of 4 MB. So with this, we are done with the step 3. Now the step 4 is we need to read the binary file. We need to read the firmware file. So again, I have connected the ESP32 board in which I have uploaded the LED blink example code. So now what I'll do is I'll again copy this line from esptool.exe up to the baud rate. Go back to the command prompt. Let me just clear everything here. Now I'll paste this line, and here I will change first of all the COM port as 4. Then I'll put a space and type as read_flash space 0x4 and 5 times 0. It's just because it's a 4 MB flash memory. Then space, I'll write the name of the file, which is esp_blink.bin. Here you can give any name as your choice, and let's just press enter. Okay, so in this case, in the Windows system, this 921600 baud rate works, and as you can see, it is reading the binary file much faster than before. And we have successfully read the binary file, and to cross check we can go to drive D, and here is the esp_blink.binary file. As you can see, the size is of 4 MB. Now we are left with the final fifth step, which is to write the binary or the firmware file into other ESP32 board. For that, I'll remove the ESP32 and I will connect the ESP32 in which I haven't uploaded any sketch. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll go to the Arduino IDE first of all, and this time I'll copy the text up to the flash, which is here. I'll copy and I'll go back to the command prompt and I'll paste that line here, and now let's just do the necessary changes. So first of all, we need to change the COM port. So let's just cross check on which COM port the ESP is connected now. So it is still connected to the COM4. So let's just type as COM4. Then we need to provide the flash size. So now here I can write as 4 MB, and space, I need to write the address from 0, space, we need to provide the address, the binary file location, which is d:/esp_blink.bin. Hopefully everything is fine with this line. So let's just press the enter button and let's see. Okay, so it started flashing the firmware file. And it got successfully flashed, and on my ESP32 board, the LED started blinking at the interval of 1 second, which was the code written inside this ESP32. Very simple process to clone firmware from one device to other device. So that's a simple method to clone the firmware of the ESP32 board, and I also tried the same method on this LilyGO T-Display S3 Pro, and I was successfully able to read its firmware, store it, and also flash it back. And let me tell you, the flash size of this ESP32 S3 chipset is of 16 MB, but still I was able to do that. So this process is not just limited to ESP32, but it can also be replicated to ESP32C3, S3, or maybe ESP8266 as well. It doesn't matter. Now after going through all this process, one common question comes in our mind is it safe to launch our ESP based IoT product because anyone can easily clone the firmware and make the replica of that? Well, it's not the same case in all the products, because on the official Espressif documentation I can see that we can encrypt our firmware so that no one can replicate it or duplicate it or maybe copy that, okay? But I was not able to find the step-by-step process about how we can encrypt our firmware, but I'll definitely do a little more research about it, try to understand this encryption process. Or in case if any one of you watching this video have tried this encryption of the firmware process, well, you can share some links or documents with me, maybe through the comments, or you can reach me out through the email. The email ID is mentioned in the video. I'll try to understand that, I'll try to learn that, and maybe I'll make a video of it for you all people. So yeah, that's it about the video. A like and a comment will be definitely appreciated, as it will motivate me to make more such content for you free of cost. And yeah, that being said, I am just ending this video here, and now just wait for my next video and then explore, learn, share with me, techiesms.